Xo'p, bugungi darsimizda Cambridge 9 Test 2 Passage Through analizini ko'rib chiqamiz va birinchi navbatda bizdan qanaqa mavzuda research olib borish kutilayotganligini tushunish maqsadida headingga qaraymiz, titlega qaraymiz. Neuroscience reveals how to think differently demoqchimda. Neurosciencega, psixologiyaga, o'sha bilimga, ilmga, neuroscience, ya'ni miyaga bog'liq ma'lumotlarni o'qir ekanmiz ko'pincha. Undan keyin esa savol turlarini ko'rib olishimiz kerak. Savol turlari bizda bu qismda multiple choice savollari birinchi navbatda, to'g'rimi? Multiple choice savollarimiz bor. Undan keyin multiple choice savollarimizdan keyin yes no degan savollarimiz bor. Yes no degan savollarimizdan keyin esa matching savollarimiz bor. Xo'p, shuni birgalikda birma-bir bajarishga harakat qilamiz. Xo'p, hammasini o'qib, keyin javoblarni javob berishga harakat qilamiz. 3 ta paragraf o'qiyman, javob beraman. 3 ta paragraf o'qiyman, javob beraman. Shunaqa qilganimiz yaxshi, chunki masalan o'z ko'rganingizdek neuroeconomics berilgan, iconoclast berilgan. Iconoclast birinchi paragrafda turibdi, neuroeconomics ham birinchi paragrafda turibdi, ikkinchi paragrafda masalan javoblarimiz yes no kelgan savollarimizga javoblarimiz chiqib qolishi mumkin. Shuning uchun ham bilib bo'lmaydi. O'shuning uchun ham hammasi o'qishimiz kerak. In the last decade, a revolution has occurred in the way scientists think about the brain. Okay. Hope. We know that the decisions humans make can be traced to the firing patterns of neurons in specific parts of the brain. The discoveries have led to the field known as neuroeconomics, which studies the brain's secrets to success in an economic environment that demands innovation and being able to do things differently from competitors. A brain that can do this is iconoclastic one. Briefly, an iconoclast is a person who does something that others say can't be done. As definition implies that iconoclasts are different from other people, but more precisely, it is their brains that are different in 3 distinct ways: perception, fear response, and social intelligence. Each of these 3 functions utilize a different circuit in the brain. Naysayers might suggest that the brain is irrelevant, that thinking in an original, even revolutionary way is more a matter of personality than brain function. But the field of neuroeconomics was born out of realizations that the physical workings of the brain place limitations on the way we make decisions. But by understanding this constraint, we begin to understand why some people march to a different drumbeat. The first thing to realize is that the brain suffers from limited resources. It has a fixed energy budget, but about the same as a 40-watt light bulb. So it has evolved to work as efficiently as possible. It's where most people are impeded from being an iconoclast. For example, when confronted with information streaming from the eyes, brain will interpret the information in the quickest way possible. Thus, it will draw on both past experience and any source of information, such as what other people say, to make sense of what it is seeing. This happens all the time. The brain takes shortcuts that work so well, we are hardly ever aware of them. We think our perception of the world are real, but they are only biological and electrical rumblings. Perception is not simply a product of what your eyes and ears transmit to your brain. More than physical reality of photons, sound waves, perception is a product of the brain. Demek bizani hozir o'zimiz ko'rayotganimiz, o'zimiz tushunishimiz bu miyani ishi ekan. Hop, neuroeconomics is a field of study which studies brain secrets to success in an economic environment that demands innovation and being able to show again. Causes a change in how scientists understand brain chemistry? No. Understand how good decisions are made in the brain? Maybe. Understand how the brain is linked to achievement of probably. Economic environment, competitive fields, trace specific firing patterns of neurons in different areas? No. Hop, C bo'ladi javob katta ehtimol bilan, chunki how the brain is linked to achievement. Demoqchimda secrets to success bu qismda achievement, competitive fields bu economic environment. From competitor mana qismda javob competitor degan so'zlar bo'lganligi sababli C ni olamiz. According to the writer, iconoclasts are distinctive from others because their brains different ways. They create unusual brain circuits. No. Their brains come on. Their brains function differently. To'g'ri. Uch xil turda different ekan. Perception, fear response, and social intelligence. Bo'ldi, o'qish shart emas. Personality is no, meditation no. According to the writer, brain works efficiently because it has energy problems. Limited resources, limited energy budget, so efficiency bo'lish kerak. It uses eyes quickly, no. Interprets logically, no. Generates its own energy, no. Relies on previous events. What? No. Oh, works efficiently because use eyes quickly. What? Eyes quickly? No. Logically, no. Generates its own energy, no. Hop, on previous events bo'ladi bu qismda. Javobni hozir ko'rsatib beraman. Maqsimda yozilgan. Mana past experiences, other source of information, other people say. To'g'ri, ona emas. Mana the brain interprets information the quickest way. That's it will draw. Mana shu qism javob bo'ladi. Bu qismda own energy generate qilmaydi, data logically qilmaydi, eyes ni quickly qilmaydi. Writer says the perception is not only simply a product that your eyes and eyes transmit to your brain, but more than physical reality. For us, the perception is a product of brain. Combinations, photons of sound waves. Yo'q. Reliable product. Yo'q. Result of brain process. Yes. Conscious haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Shu bilan C bo'ldi javobimiz. Tushunarli bo'ldigan umiddaman. Mana shu oxirgi gap sababli. According to writer, classic thinker haqida ma'lumotlarni o'qimadik. Hozircha o'qimadik. Endi o'qib topib javobni aytamiz sizga. Xo'p, bu qismda 3 ta javobga 4 ta savolga javobni topdik. Bu qismdagi exposure to different events forces brain to think different haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Economists are unusually receptive of new experience haqida ma'lumot yo'q hozircha. Demak, thinking like a successful economist is demanding because it's hali o'qimadik demak. O'qish kerak ekan ko'pincha hozir. Xo'p, keyingi 3 ta paragrafni o'qiymiz, javoblarni topishga harakat qilamiz. 1, 2, 3. 2 ta qolar ekan oxirida. Xo'p, ketdik. Perception is central to iconoclasm. Iconoclasts see things differently to other people. Their brains don't fall into efficiency pitfalls as much as the average person's brain. Iconoclasts, either because they were born that way or through learning, have found ways to work around the perceptual shortcuts that plague most of us. It's not something that is hardwired into the brain. It's a learned process, which is both a curse and opportunity for change. The brain faces fundamental problem of interpreting physical stimuli from the senses. Everything the brain sees, hears, touches has multiple interpretations. The one that is ultimately chosen is simply the brain's best theory. In technical terms, these conjectures have their basis in the statistical likelihood of the one interpretation over another, are heavily influenced by past experience. And importantly, for potential iconoclasts, what other people say. The best way to see things differently to other people is to bombard the brain with things that it has never encountered before. Novelty releases the perceptual process from the chains of past experience, forces the brain to make new changes. Successful iconoclasts have an extraordinary willingness to be exposed to what is fresh and different. Observation of iconoclasts shows that they embrace novelty, while most people avoid things that are different. Problem with novelty, however, is that it tends to trigger the brain's fear system. Fear is a major impediment to thinking. Like an iconoclast stops the average person in his tracks. There are many types of fear, but the two that inhibit iconoclast thinking people generally different. And from those are fear of uncertainty, fear of public ridicule. This might seem like trivial phobias, but fear of public speaking, which everyone must do from time to time, afflicts one sort of the population. This makes it too common to be considered as a mental disorder. What the hell? It's simply a common variant of human nature, which on what you don't let inhibit their reaction. Uchta paragraf o'qidik. Shu bilan topishga harakat qilamiz. Article centralized perception thinking in one part of no. Avoid cognitive traps. Yes. Hardwired for no, not hardwired masini yozilgan. Xo'p, bu javoblarni boshqa rang bilan topishga harakat qilamiz endi. Come on. Do we have any other like color? Boshqa javoblarni shu color ishlatamiz. Nimaga buni oldik? Chunki mana not hardwired dedik. Uchinchidan chiqib ketdi. More opportunities haqida ma'lumot yo'q. One part haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Avoid cognitive trauma haqida ma'lumot bor. Mana bu qayerda yozgan. Mana. Iconoclasts something have found that ways work around to perceptual for shortcuts. Demak, mana shu javobimiz, mana shu gap orqali javob B ekanligini tushunib olishingiz mumkin. Keyingi qismga o'tamiz. Exposure to different events forces the brain to think differently. Bu to'g'ri. Xo'p, qayerdan topamiz bu javobni? Mana bordi, exposure to different events. So the best way to see things different to other people is to bombard the brain with this has never encountered. Demak, boshqacha o'ylashga majburlaydi. Bu yes bo'ladi javob. Keyingi qismga o'tamiz. According to unusually receptive new experience. Demak, shunda novelty releases perceptual processes. Successful iconoclasts have an extraordinary willingness to be exposed to what is fresh and different. Yes, unusual receptive. Yes, PM. PM, yes. Most people are too shy to try different things. Yep. Most people are too shy. Problem that know how tends to trigger the brain's fear system. Fear is a major impediment to thinking like an iconoclast. Yep, PM, yes. Buncha hammaga yes bo'lib ketdi. 3 ta yes bo'ldi. Taxminan xato bo'lsa kerak. If you think in an classic way, you can easily overcome fear. No information about it. Fear overcome qilolmasligini gap ko'rmadimman. When concerned about embarrassment matters less, our answers will become irrelevant. Fear of public speaking is a psychological illness. This makes it too common to be considered as a mental disorder. Demak, shunda juda ham mental disorder sifatida tan olinishi uchun juda ham too common dedi. O'sha uchun ham buni no deymiz. Chunki bu psychological illness emas, bu kasallik emas. Bu prosta human nature deb aytishdi mana. Variant of human nature deb aytishdi. Xo'p, bu no bo'lishi aniq, mana bu not given bo'lishi aniq. G'alati bo'ldi lekin. Mayli, shu qilaveraylik. O'rgab bo'lar. Mana embarrassment matters less, others will become less irrelevant. Umuman ma'lumot o'qimadim, men to'g'risi o'qimadim. Xo'p, not given oldim men ikkalasiga, uchalasi yes bo'lib, bittasi not bo'ldi. Xo'p, bu javoblar ketdi, bu javoblar ketdi. Xo'p, endi uchta javobimiz, savolimiz qoldi. Shuni o'qib olishimiz kerak shekilli, uchta savolga javob berish uchun. To successful academics, individuals must sell their ideas to other people. This is where social intelligence comes in. Social intelligence is the ability to understand, manage people in business settings. In the last decade, there has been an explosion of knowledge about social brain and how the brain works when groups coordinate decision making. Neuroscience has revealed which brains are responsible for functions like understanding what other people think. When fairness and social this brain play key roles in whether people convince others of their ideas. Perception is not important social cognition too. Perception of someone's enthusiasm, reputation can make a big deal. Understanding how people becomes intertwined with social decision making shows why successful incomes are so rare. Create new opportunities in every area, from artistic expression to technology to business. They supply creativity, innovation, not easily accomplished by committees. Rules aren't important to them. Economic class face alienation and failure. Can also be a major asset to any organization. It's crucial for success in any field to understand how economic class mind works. Qisqasi bo'ldi, economic class tushundim. Seeking like a success in economic because it requires selling ideas. Both perceptual and social intelligence skills. Maybe focus on group ideas said no, works in many fields, both said no, have one nope. Nope, demek A bo'larkan javob. Bilmayman nimaga A bo'ladi, lekin A bo'ladi javob qisqasi. Concept of social brain is useful to economic class because creativity and innovation. Rayno'ga trollishim kerak shekilli. Economic class are generally an asset because their way of thinking. The opportunities, artistic expression to technology. Maybe C. Boshqa to'g'ri kelmadi qisqasi. Focus on no, leaves open no, no. Maybe leaves one open to criticism and rejection. Maybe. Now, the concept of social brain is useful to economics because it involves understanding how organization manage people. Man. How the brain works when groups coordinate decision making. The focuses on how groups decide on an action. Demek o'shanda shu bo'lar ekan, demak B bo'lar ekan oxirgisi. Mana bu 39B bo'lar ekan shekilli. Xo'p, demak javoblarimiz 38A, 39B, 39C, 40C bo'ldi. Shu bilan Dini olmadik. Endi mana olmadik. Xo'p, Dini olmadik, faqat 5 ta variant. Xo'p, mana olmadik. Shu bilan bugungi darsimiz o'z nihoyasiga yetadi. Xatolari bo'lsa, rozi bo'lasiz. Shu bilan bugungi darsimiz o'z nihoyasiga yetadi. Kommentarlarda muammo bo'lsa qoldiringlar. Shu bilan bye guys.